All right, guys, I want to give you my quick little review of Bright. Now, Bright is actually an original Netflix series, and I actually like these type of films. I don't know if many of you don't know this, but majority of this video is going to be talking about. It will be talking about Bright, but I'll talk about what type of films I like in general. Because Bright, I can wrap that up in about a good 2 to 3 minutes. So, well, no, let's start with the review, and then we'll go back to this. Bright. Let's talk about this. Bright is a fantasy. Cop, I guess you could say one of those. Pretty much the best way to describe the show is Training Day meets Lord of the Rings, or Chicago PD meets Lord of the Rings, which is probably better. I think a lot more people might know who Chicago PD is. If you're a film fan, you know what Training Day is, but I think a majority of people know the show Chicago PD. Combine this with Lord of the Rings, present day, and this is what you're going to get. The premise is great. I like the fact, the thing I like about is the world building, that David Ayer and Matt, the writer, I think his name is Matt Lasson. I could be mistaken. He also wrote Chronicle. And I just like the world building. And again, this is what I like about the film. The film does, if you're person who's sucker for detail, you could see the world building they're doing. Now, this film, I knew this film was going to be a 9 out of 10 because, again, they were going to do a lot of things. They were going to do, pretty much, it was going to be a Will Smith movie, which it was, and Joe Edgerton movie, which it kind of was too. And then the second one, but mostly build up. So in the second film, that's where the story is going to be developed from the first film. And again, I wasn't expecting too much from it because when you combine fantasy with modern day, most of the time it's never that good. Some are good, but it's never like, I guess groundbreaking to the part like a Star Wars or a Lord of the Rings type of thing. So I kind of expected that. I enjoyed it. I mean, it does start off kind of weird, but any film does, especially in this type of ways presented. And the thing I like about it, it's original. And what I mean by original is it's something I've never seen done before in quite some time. And it's a breath of fresh air for me, because the problem I think a lot of these people have today, it got to be big blockbuster type of movies now. That's the only way you can be entertained, which I don't think that's the right way to go. I think you should have these type of indie type of films like Bright, and it's really, it kind of harpers back to what the 90s was and early 2000s, and I kind of liked those type of films. Well, I miss those type of films, excuse me. But to wrap this shit all up, what did I think of it? I was entertained. I enjoyed it. I had no problems with it. The script was here and there. It was a misfire here and there. It's not a perfect film, but it's a solid 7 out of 10 for me. There's some problems, but again, it's not that bad. Now, let's talk about the portion of this video. Is probably the next 2 or 3 minutes. I'm really going to talk about this. But the critics, enough. I am really sick of the critics of today. Calling this film the worst film, you're not a good critic. You're not a good critic. And I don't care what you guys say. If you don't like the film, that's more power to you. But you cannot come out here and say this is the worst film of the year. It is not. Fucking Inhumans started out to be the worst film of the year, and that came out in fucking theaters. So you need to count that shit too. Secondly, it's not the worst. Go see The Snowman with Michael Fassbender. That shit is terrible. That's bad. And the critics are slamming and saying, oh, it's a mess, it's a this and a that. I said, oh, okay. So if it's not Marvel or Star Wars, it's not a good film for you. And that's the problem I have with critics today. If it ain't Marvel or it ain't Disney related, it usually sucks. And then films like Logan, people praise them, but then again, at the end of the year, when you have a top 10 list, it's not fucking on there. Why? It should be on a top 10 list. I'm not going to say it should be number 1, but that's automatically top 10. If you're a film critic, that is a top 10. No, it's not. It's the top fucking 10. I don't care what nobody says. That's the top 10. Film. If you even take the word Wolverine out, it still will be a better film than most of the films we got this whole year. But see, no one wants to talk about that shit. And that type of shit pisses me off. I really am. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a huge, I like everything in the film, but I can safely say I was entertained. It has some bad product, but it's not the worst film of the year. And I'm not a full critic. I can tell you that. It's enjoyable. Me and my friend were talking about that earlier. He said, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with these critics. But they need to get their head out their asses. Now, a lot of people say, oh, critics are being bought by Disney. At this point, people made a joke about it like a year ago with Batman v Superman. Now, I'm kind of believing that. I am kind of believing that. This makes no fucking sense. Why this is considered to be the worst film? And you have a right to your opinion. But calling it the worst film? No. Either you have an agenda against this film, or you're just a stupid-ass dick, or you just don't know how to review films anymore. You just don't. I'm sick of that. And then David Ayer had to, address some stupid critic, and I feel bad for him. I really do, because you could tell, he's trying to redeem himself after Suicide Squad. Well, Warner Brothers fucked him over. And I think he did. And even my friend was like, it was Warner Brothers' fault. That's why Suicide Squad. Yeah, no shit. I knew it because David Ayer is a good director. He was perfect for the job. Don't get me wrong. Like when Warner Brothers announced David Ayer, for Suicide Squad, I said, yeah, that's a perfect director. Problem was, you gotta let him direct his own shit. Don't rush this man. He is a film, you give this man time, you will get what you want. But Warner Brothers rushed him and we got Suicide Squad, the piece of shit we got. But I'm really sick of these critics. I might actually do a video and just address these critics. I really am. Because I'm talking about it enough in this portion of this. But I'm really sick of them. I am. But anyway, guys, go check out Bright. As always, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day. It's a very good film. I recommend to check it out. If you got nothing else to do for the holidays, check it out. As always, peace.